Scott. I'll meeting to order. We have one addition to the agenda under in-camera contracts. Add that, can I get approval for the agenda, please? So moved. Seconder? Second. All in favor? Right. Carried. Moving on to delegations, we have Karen Henright here from Digby Area Tourism. Well, sort of here, but she's here. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. First of all, I want to wish Mayor Bartlett and council members Leslie and Tom very happy New Year, and I hope this will be a great year for the town. And first time I've spoken to you folks since the turn of the new year, so happy New Year to you all.
Same to you.
Thank you. So it's become very evident to data that the folks are not lining up to start or operate small tourism experiences. And our executive has met several times about this and has decided to become creator and facilitator of some new experiences to draw in tourists. This would hopefully help our area in the off and shoulder seasons. Our summer season's pretty strong, but we really do need to beef up the other seasons. We do have the steering committee working on that behalf as well, but we do have one idea that we'd like to put forward that would be this year. And that is 2025 is the 60th anniversary of the CBC releasing its documentary on Maud Lewis, and that led to her fame. So DADA would like to celebrate the 60 years by having a festival called the 60 Days of Maud. What this would entail would be the start date of May 1st and the end date of June 29th, which would be 60 days. It encompasses shoulder season, which is great. And this would be a pretty big deal. We would get some great media coverage on this, and it should draw some great off-season tourists to our area. So what our suggestions are for this is, first of all, we would invite artisans that have been influenced by Maud Lewis to set up along our waterfront to showcase and sell their work, but it has to have a direct link to Maud. So, you know, it could be painters, it could be oil, watercolor, charcoal, pencil drawings, it could be woodwork, it could be textiles, it could be anything that is done with a celebration of Maud in mind. And then we would also like to hold Paint Like Maud classes, utilizing some of these artisans to teach, you know, methods and whatnot on how to paint like Maud. That would be open along the waterfront. Our data building would be outfitted with Maud memorabilia and collectibles for sale. We are dealing with the Art Gallery of Nova Scotia on that. And we would also like to have the pendants that you currently have in the summer that run along the boulevard that showcase local artists. We'd like to have our own printed and have all Maud paintings for the time of the festival only, and have them hanging in the same location. We would also rent or lease, I'm not sure how you do it, working on that as well, the movie Maudie that we would have playing free to anybody who would like to see it. And we would like to hold a family paint the house days at the Marshalltown Memorial. Now, I know that's not in the town's jurisdiction, but we have spoken to the art gallery about this as well. And the idea with that would be to secure large pieces of wood to the exterior of the model house and invite people to come and paint the wood in the style of Maud. And we would have an artisan there guiding them as well and teaching. And then when they're finished, we could have them sign the work, and we could display those wooden plaques around town because they would be quite large. And maybe we could display them along the waterfront or any appropriate place that you thought would be a good spot. We also want to create better directional signage to Maud's gravesite because we've heard many comments it's difficult to find. And we would like to kick off this whole event with having Mayor Bartlett in his regalia, formal regalia, having a formal opening of the 60 Days of Maud. And for the time period, the 60 days, we would love to discuss with you if you could rename the Admiral's Way to the Maud Lewis Way for the 60 days. We have more ideas in the works for the 60 days, but we would have something big going on every single week. And this is an information package for you. However, we would obviously have to have your permission and assistance in hanging the Maud Lewis pendants in town and having the grand opening and having Mayor Bartlett give a grand opening of it and renaming that stretch of roadway there for the period of time.
Sounds great. I don't know if you knew or not, but it's also the town's 135th this year as well.
Mike, is that you speaking? I can barely hear you.
Yeah, that's Mike speaking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you repeat what you said?
Yeah, it's also the town's 135th this year as well.
Oh, awesome.
Speak in your microphone.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did. That's excellent.
Yeah. So no, I think it's a great project. Anybody have any comments for Karen? Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I know in the past, and I don't know how long ago this was, but Hal Terrio had written a play about Maud Lewis, and I know it's been put on quite a few years ago now, but has there been any consideration of having something like that potentially part of this as well? Or if, Hal's not interested in doing the same one, maybe looking at having something in the fall as well to help as part of the celebration of Maud and see if there's one of the local playwrights who might be interested in doing something in partnership with this.
We've actually already reached out to Hal. We haven't heard back from him yet, but it was in the plan to have his play put on as well. So there will be many more things. I mean, 60 days is a long time. It's 2 full months of activities. So we have a lot more activities that we're working on right now. But yes, absolutely, to promote Hal's playwriting abilities and to have that shown would be fantastic. I also wanted to add that there would be no charge to the artisans along the waterfront or to people attending to see the movie or anything like that. There would be no charge. This would be a data-funded project. It would be put into the levy committee as a special project, which we do every year. Last year was our first, but this would be a special project. So we are working with the art gallery right now to find out, rental costs for the movie and how to go about getting the memorabilia in for sale and that kind of thing. But this would be no charge to the public, and the only financial commitment from the town would be if you could spare your public works folks to put the flags up for us. That would be great.
Great idea. Anybody else have any? Go ahead, Councilor Sonia.
Did you consider, Karen, maybe making some kind of I don't know what you call them, but a Maud Lewis painting that would be large enough for people to put their faces through and have a shot taken in front of the wharf down there?
Yeah, actually, the art gallery has one of those stand-up, I don't know what to call them, but those stand-up things. And we're in the works. We're hoping to get that down here as well, so people can come and stick their face through and get a photo. Yeah.
I think that frame, Karen, you can get in Yarmouth. There's an office in Yarmouth, I believe, and we looked at that before here, and they do have a frame in Yarmouth, so maybe closer that way.
Oh, okay. All right. Good to know.
All right. Anyone else? No? Well, it sounds like a super project.
Thank you. I'm meeting with the municipality next week. For them, it's pretty much just an information evening because we don't even have an ask for them. Since I found out that the replica house in Marshalltown is actually on provincial ground, and the art gallery takes care of the actual building, or they own it. So they will be updated on everything. But if we could get a commitment to move forward, we're really looking at, having the Admiral's Way, named Maud Lewis Way just for the period of time, and having your assistance in putting up the signage, and of course having Mayor Bartlett out there have a nice opening ceremony with the press.
All right, sounds great. We'll get an answer for you middle of the month. Is that soon enough?
I think so. That would work.
Perfect. Sounds like a great project, and look forward to seeing it come together.
Thank you. We will be devising more things. We have a lot of ideas. We were hoping other people would step up and actually run the things and we could promote them, but it just hasn't worked out. So you're going to see more facilitation out of data this year, and we'll just move forward and take the projects on ourselves.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next Wednesday night.
Will you?
At the thing for data with Harvey.
Oh, yeah. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much, everybody. Okay. Good night.
The thing. The thing. Yeah,
What's this thing?
that's the thing. All right, we'll move on to minutes of the previous meeting for December 2nd. Your package. Approval for the minutes of the meeting. Here, seconder.
I'll second it.
Second, Councillor Foote. All in favor? Motion carried. Moving on to business arising, DP bargain bin tax reduction policy to be tabled on January 20th, 2025, committee of the whole. I'm going to comment on that.
Yeah, that's policy, draft policy has been drafted and expected to be able to go in January.
2, Ocean 11, meeting with Bear River First Nation, and the date is still to be determined with that. Moving on to reports. Start with mine. December, busy month. On the 29th, we had that incident on West Street. So I talked to CBC about that. The street spray painting. November 29th, we did the tree lighting downtown, which was a huge turnout this year. Thank Public Works, DP Fire Department, RCMP, Roger Marshall, Councillor Sonia, McCormick, Foot and Louise. November 30th at the theater, I went to see a play, actually. I was talking to Sue Haley, and she informed me that Janet Larkin is coming down from King Cedar to look over what's going on at the theater and recommendations for equipment. December 1st, kicked off the telethon for the Christmas Daddies. December 2nd, West Street. Sent an email to my neighbor that did an interview with CBC on not feeling safe in town. I got a reply from her, and she'll be talking to the staff section. Certainly don't want anybody to feel safe in this town, not feel safe. December 3rd, just followed up with the West Street. December 3rd as well, planning session, met with the CAO and executive assistant to go over the itinerary. The upcoming planning session we had on December 7th. December 3rd, a crosswalk concern at Victoria Street. This was with the bus driver, and now we're not doing the X's anymore for the crosswalks. So the bus driver was very concerned that the X's weren't there, that people weren't using the proper stopping distance to the crosswalk. And so we did talk to the RCMP, and they sent me stats, and I sent that to the bus driver, and he was okay with that. December 7th, we had a planning session here. Everybody, it went very well. And our follow-up with Tom and Leslie and I will be on the 22nd, I believe. So we'll go through all the ideas and prioritize them, and then we'll bring them back to you guys. I had a Zoom call with data consultants on the branding of the area. The new slogan that they came up with was the 10 Wonders of Digby. This came out of a survey done by consumers. It's a consumer index project that they did. And the others submitted were Digby's Natural Aquarium and the Scallop Capital of the World, which both didn't make it. December 12th, recognition dinner. Had a great evening with staff and committee members who recognized Joy Robbins for 45 years, Bruce Sibley 25 years, Gary Drew 10 years, Daniel Sedong, I don't have his last name, 10 years, and Robbie Morgan has been our fire chief for 25 years now. December 13th, attended Tide View, and we had the sign for Shireen's Cafe spot. December 13th, Montague Row received an email from a resident at 51 Montague Row on her email from November. We sent to Tom and Ed to follow up on this. You notice the ones in red we still have to follow up on. Got some color code going here. December 14th, had a concern from a citizen that French William Street on the one-way hill. People were coming down the hill instead of going, they were doing the wrong way. We used to have an arrow painted on that on the street, and I guess the traffic authority recommends that this is not the proper thing to do. So we do have signs up saying the wrong way, and right now that's all we can do. December 15th, well, the whole gang, we went out and did some judging for some house decorating. December 17th, DRHS Theater was informed by musicians they had a concert last Christmas, and this time they were told they couldn't do it this year because they don't make the theater out. So I put that on the dark agenda for December 18th, and we just discussed it there, and Dark is in the process of working with the school board on getting an agreement set. December 18th, African Heritage Month kickoff, met at NSCC with the executive assistant Brenda Francis to put together the agenda for the kickoff of the Heritage Month on January 23rd at Digby Station. That's at 1 o'clock if anyone's interested, and Leslie and Rob are putting that together. December 18th, met with CAO and bylaw enforcer over concern of a taxi company. It was decided best to inquire with the RCMP on this matter. December 18th, met with the company who is going to run the Wharf Art Rally event 2025 at the town hall with Linda Gregory, and our bylaw enforcer also attended that meeting with us. December 18th, Digby Salvage, Fishing Ropes and Traps. Had a call from Digby Salvage and Disposal with regards to an organization who used to collect fishing ropes and traps, who are now no longer funded by the government to take them. Discussed with CAO and decided to send it through to WasteCheck to look into this, and still waiting a reply from WasteCheck. December 19th, met with Staff Sergeant Grant Ryan. Had a great meeting with Staff Sergeant, bylaw enforcer, and CAO. An update on the department, looking to book a date to visit headquarters for councillors to see the services received under our agreement. December 20th, WasteCheck had a Zoom call with Grant Thornton, sorry, get Doan now, put Doan in there, to go over the 2023 WasteCheck year-end report. December 20th, awarded prizes for the house decorating with Councillor Weir and Deputy Mayor Saunier. December 20th, customer had an issue with a water bill. Turned out it was a toilet that was leaking. So that was actually thought it was solved, but again, it happened this week. He had his second bill. It was also very, very high. So I met with Ed today, actually, and there was 2 more toilets leaking. So hopefully we found the end of that toilet problem. Also attended DBR Recreation, DB Development Agency, Tybee Terrace, DB Water Commission, Executive Committee, and Planning Advisory. So that's what I did in December. And Christmas was in there too. So. Any questions on that? If not, we will move on to the Chief Administration report.
Okay, summer was again a very busy month. And even with Christmas break, it was busy right up until the day before Christmas. And so in about CAO Committee of the Valley Waste Kings Transit, I attended another meeting of the committee. The items discussed with funding model options and governance model. I left this meeting with less enthusiasm and optimism about the town being a partner on the Kings Transit. And the shelter committee, there's a new committee being formed to investigate a shelter in the Bigby area. I was invited to attend a Microsoft Teams meeting concerning the need and possible funding from community services for a shelter. There were some discussions surrounding the document, this shelter project, the shelter for Digby, compiled by Michelle Levings. And this document is classified as confidential at this point, and I was provided with a copy for review. I placed the document on the cloud under folder named confidential documents for council's review and convenience. I would like to say to stay in contact with this committee to keep informed without becoming a member of the committee. That's my report.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Tom?
It's very particularly comprehensive. A lot of information in that
Yeah.
document.
Huge. I know what you're gonna
I
ask.
have to ask Tom, what's happening with King's Transit?
Well, I guess the reason that I'm losing enthusiasm and stuff is that ideally what they want to do is have a joint committee for King's Transit and Valley Waste, a combined oversight governance body, right? So those, and it's fine for those that are members of both, right? We are not members of both, nor is the district of being members of both. The way I see it, if the board meetings are run anywhere like the CAO meetings are, is 3/4 of the meeting is about Valley Waste. And so I'm sitting there listening to the jabber, but I have no input.
Yeah.
Nor do I want to have input. And it's just a waste of my time. And I can see that if we were on that board, became members of stuff, then they only had one board and one board meeting. But it'll be the same thing. So usually, it would be the mayor who would be the member of the board. I can't see anybody. I couldn't see myself driving to Kentville and for a 2-hour meeting and spending an hour and 3/4 on Valley Waste, and then right before you get to what you're there to discuss.
So fundamentally, what does the waste authority have to do with the transportation authority? Besides
Well,
the duplication of executive.
Yeah, and I think that's the only thing.
Oh.
Right. And I think, see, they've always been separate, but Kings County the units of Kings County basically thought that we should bring it together under one governance body. Right, which could be fine, but the thing is that if everybody was members of both, it would be fine. But, and, I just don't, I didn't get a good feeling at that meeting. And, so basically, as we the town, and unlike, well, we are like, Annapolis Royal and the town of Middleton in Annapolis County, we are just buyers of service, right? We buy it, they buy their service from Annapolis County, and we buy ours from the District of Digby. So, and the thing is, if we're not members, then we're definitely gonna just be ons that they can say it's gonna cost you this much this year, next year it's gonna cost you this much, and it's not gonna do us, and we're not gonna get any more service at what the drop is currently, right? So, I just don't have the faith in the big group. I think there might be other options.
Well, do you have any idea of the progress towards them deciding how they're going to change the service? Is there any idea of when they may actually put a proposal of any kind together to show what they're going to do in the future?
I think that basically what they've got to do, because they've got to first convince the owners of Kings Transit, which are municipal units of Kings County. It's Kings County and Berwick, town of Berwick, town of Kentville, and the town of Wolfville are all their partners.
So there's nobody on this end that's actually in the other.
Annapolis County is the partner.
Really?
Annapolis County only provides buses the same as, and pays them to maintain them and operate. Right? So
are we still gonna be invited to the table, or?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
we can still. It's just that I don't know.
Yeah.
Have we asked the grant coordinator to look into the Canada Public Transit Fund that the federal government has? I believe funding starts in the 2026-2027 year, but there is information available about the fund currently. Maybe it's something that we look at to see if it would be a fit for either the town itself or the town and municipality together, especially if we're going to be having challenges going forward, or potential challenges with our new garbage buses or whatever they're planning on rolling out. Sorry, that's what I was thinking of when you were talking about it. Was drive along, pick up some compost while you're going by, something up the ridership. But there is that fund. I know
Too big.
that it was brought up, I believe, at our new council orientation. I heard a couple people chatting about applications they had put in. So I'm not sure if it's something would be a fit for or would be a fit for us. But
So we do our connecting bus space.
yeah, it's something that be a little more town specific, but it might be worth if you leave. So
That would be an option. Certainly investigate things that we could then be our own dictators at that point. We would be able to say how many routes we want in town and what route will be, and just be a bus that's going beyond somewhere else at a certain time. Right?
So would we, can the municipality use their buses? Like, can we use, like, can the municipality get their bus back? In other words, they buy the bus. Do they own the bus? It's theirs.
Yeah, the
To
bus
use, they can
belongs.
pull it out of King's Transit.
Yeah.
And maybe we can go the other end down to Yarmouth instead of the valley.
Oh, yes, that would be an option for them, right? Whether to do that or not, and that's the other thing, the unknown is whether, they're gonna continue to partner with King's Transit as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if the district pulled out, we could do something jointly with the district and maybe
Yeah.
go the other way.
I know from the meeting in Halifax, they're just talking to this one gentleman that Yarmouth and the French Shore have discussed bringing that together. And historically, there's been a bigger connection to Yarmouth
Right.
from the Weymouth, Digby County area
Exactly.
than there is in the other direction.
Especially for the hospital
Yarmouth bus system is now free.
Yeah.
in town.
And Yarmouth bus system, just with their new buses. I don't know the name of the organization, but there was a provincial grant that helped them get those 2 new buses they got. So maybe with conversation with somebody down there, I know Mike's real good buddies with Pam Mood, so.
Yeah. I'd rather see that personally. If it
Well-
falls apart, then that's a group from.
Even if it means you have to meet across the Bear River Bridge somewhere or something.
Well, we
Make
had
that,
our own buses, we could go through here right down.
yeah. But you could have one service, just stop and join together, like Toronto and Mississauga, whatever. You know, they would-
That's the problem now, is Yarmouth Regional is our regional hospital.
Right.
There's no way to get to it.
That's
Unless
right.
you call Transport to Clare or find someone to drive you. If you can't take yourself, there's no other way to get there.
Yeah, so it may be a better option for us if this falls through, right? So when's that meeting? The next one, did they pick time for that yet or no?
It's coming right up.
Is it?
Yeah.
I know we discussed having meetings with the municipality, so put this on our agenda too, as a joint council meeting. That'd be an idea. Certainly solve a lot of issues if we went that way.
Well, I guess the next one is supposed to be penciled in for the 15th.
January 15th. No, any other questions before we move on? Not really. Your recommendations come.
Move the second to personal council to support an application to Canadian Housing Infrastructure Fund, CHIF, for the Thomas Road Development Project.
Seconder?
I'll second that.
Seconder? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'll move the purchase of a 2026 Peterbilt truck chassis in the amount of $255,298.85, including HST, from Peterbilt Atlantic in the 2024-2025 capital budget.
Seconder?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Questions? Okay. Yeah.
Just how much, I know we budgeted a certain amount for that. Can you remind me how much we already budgeted that for?
I believe it was 285,000.
I thought it was more than that purchase.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, there'll be some of that money left over to go towards the next phase, but,
Which is the next?
The purchase of a dump box, plow harness. Oh, sorry.
Oh, all in favor of that?
Yes.
Aye.
Sorry. Opposed?
And now I'll move the purchase of a dump box, plow harness, and heavy-duty trip edge reversible plow in the amount of $178,191.92, including HST, from Peterbilt Atlantic in the 2025-2026 capital budget year.
Seconder? Second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
This is a price guarantee for next year. Well, make sure.
It's part of the tender.
Okay.
The reason that we can split the truck in the truck, the chassis and the box of equipment into over 2 years because of delivery dates.
Okay.
Right, it's gonna take them into, well, into, to all of, well, into 25, in mid to
But
25 to get.
Yeah, I thought.
the truck will be operational next winter.
You said November.
Yeah.
Going to.
For that priority resolution. Yeah. Which need that passage. Wrong, withdraw, sorry.
Infrastructure.
Priority resolution. Council.
Yeah, that's the support the application. That is it.
That's it here.
Yeah. Was it worded wrong?
No, it should be read into that. That's what the support was, it should be read into.
Yeah, which we did first, I thought, yeah.
All right, DPR Recreation, any questions for the deputy mayor? Anything you want to highlight?
Well, we discussed a lot. Just to go back to touch on the community use of schools and theater, it is and not lost on the committee that we are now back in the same situation we have been for years, that there's only one theater technician, and getting into that theater is dependent on their schedule, what wants to be accomplished in the theater. If we're limited again, we're right back to the same place that we were. But as the mayor said, we're still talking, so we have no meeting date of another meeting with the high school, as was promised with us in the county. That's another frustration. But I'm hopeful we'll be able to meet at some.
Question, Mr. Chair, on that, is this a letter to the school board from more of us as well that meet the needs for the community to use this theater?
Been so long ago that we put the funds into it, that it probably, we should let Derek handle it first. And if push comes to shove, then we'll have to go to the MLA.
That's what it was. It was the precursor to say that it may be required at some point, one from us and one from the county.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want
Can I motion that?
to upset anybody before you've exhausted
That's right.
the dialogue.
I think Derek's getting,
I think we're all set anyways.
Yeah.
she's getting some progress with Yarmouth. Just seems locally that we have to.
I did remind the committee that above and beyond the money that we put into it in the beginning, we also put money in not very long ago because I personally was the chair of the Theater Society when we raised money showing movies and we repaired 2 heat pumps and the theater's air conditioning. So there's even more money on top of that.
Because Derek has a few more issues with the community use as well, because we deal with Weymouth, we deal with the islands, so there's more schools, so we don't want to rock the boat type of thing. So I think she'll come to a conclusion soon enough. So anything else for anyone? Any questions? No? Waste check. So Weir's first meeting, waste check.
And it was a doozy.
Anything you want to highlight, sir?
Just the overview on there from Grant Thornton. We were just going over the annual budget. There were a little bit of overexpenditure on some of the stuff, but it was mostly because of their vehicle and et cetera. Nothing out of the ordinary. No evidence of mismanagement or anything like that. Just budget talk.
Is the vehicle, was it repaired or wasn't really clear what was wrong with the vehicle? Or
Yeah, the vehicle, something was very wrong with it, and it kept something similar to our truck.
Any other questions? Not to move on to the planning advisory committee. You can hang on there.
The Dickey Land bylaw, Schedule A zoning map be amended to rezone lands Sangsiok Park and Lion Lee at King Street, PID 3038009, from residential low density to residential medium density as identified.
Second.
I second that.
Second. Questions? In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Second one.
The second one, the town interdevelopment agreement with the Digby Area Housing Coalition Society, meant the redevelopment of Civic 81 Moffett Road, PIN number 3022978 for the purposes of establishing a 34-unit residential dwelling units, associated common use facilities, and multipurpose space as proposed in the application and association, site planning and building details dated December 2nd, 2024.
A seconder?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Why?
Opposed? Motion carried. Digby Development Agency report. Shows Councilor Foote's first meeting.
Thank you. Well, the town and municipality of Digby Industrial Commission met December 4th. Aaron Kelly, Don Grant Thornton presented the current financial statements, which were discussed and accepted. North Side Property Road access on Highway 217 was discussed, and it was determined there was a requirement to verify with the Nova Scotia Department of Transportation Infrastructure Renewal that it is possible to provide access to lots as they are surveyed. So the municipal CEO, Jeff Sunderland, is to work with TIR to have an assessment completed, and he'll report back hopefully at the next meeting. Paving repairs were completed on Industrial Drive, and it was noted that this is a Class J road that is cost shared by the municipality and the province, and also that this is the first major repair on the street in 30 years of operation, so it hasn't been too bad. The next meeting scheduled for March 5th, 2025, with following meetings in June and December. Regular meetings being scheduled to facilitate planning. And that's all we have.
Any questions? Councilor?
Came in via email this afternoon. And it's from Arnold LeBlanc. And it says, hope all is well with you and that the holiday season was enjoyable. Well, now that we're in 2025, I'm focusing on Chris's new riding schedule. In January of last year, Chris met with Digby Town Council to learn about the town's current and upcoming projects and initiatives, followed by Q&A session. Chris asked that I reach out to you to see if Town Council will be open to repeating this exercise again this year. The proposed date that would work best on our end would be Wednesday, February 19th at the Town Hall at 4:15. So, basically, this council interested in meeting with their MP.
Absolutely.
And that date and time good with at least most people.
If he'll show up, I'll show up.
That's what I was thinking.
Right? Should be good. So we're good with that.
Sorry, what was that date again? February 19th. 4:15. See, not in town, January 9th. New business, request for decision, new backup generator project. We have recommendations there. Make that recommendation. Spend anything.
Again, we have budget, so.
It is, it's in the proposed budget for the 25-26 season in our CIP, which council didn't approve the CIP, but we usually just do the first year is being approved as our capital budget for that year, because it's all just so basically what is being asked is that you approve, this now so that we can award the thing, because it is going to take, I think, 6 months to get this order time, delivery time for the generators.
What a big unit, Tom, where would they put it? Did they put it in the back of the building or somewhere, or the parking lot, or?
I think they're going to be putting it up on top in the parking lot in this back corner by the tree there, where usually where we parks our vehicle.
Okay.
It's probably going to go back. Yeah. That long time. Basically, what that will do, especially the lift stations, mean that the power goes out, generator will automatically come on, and basically be business as usual in the wastewater world, and it'll end up saving us hundreds of thousands of dollars over the lifetime. Because I think one of the incidents that we had, last power outage that we had for any length of time, I think our costs that come out of our operating costs was about $20,000. So it doesn't take long to, and then if we end up dumping the overflow and go into the basin, then we're in violation of our approval to operate and conditional management, CMP, the conditional management plan for the basin. And it's going to be to closing the basin to clam harvesting and
if we have power during the work around here.
yeah.
Good.
So basically, this is just it's an enhancement to the system so that they will be up to our SCADA system. So the SCADA system will be monitoring them, and it will notify our operators how start generator running. Unless it's a trouble alarm, they won't have to leave house. Now they have to leave the house and check the stations and call the pumper can. It's
What's the, because staff these days is horrible, and if you have supplied diesel at those sites, what's the security on those?
basically, we have one now at the diesel tank. The fuel tanks are self-contained within the unit, so yeah, and you can lock the top one. So no, really, unless they the casing off of the generator shroud, you can't get to getting things unless they can get the top off it. Right? So most of them are, the one we have, we have one at the, Queen Street pump station. And, never, of course, that's it, within the loft chamber, but that doesn't mean anything either, right, so.
If they want to get in, they'll get in.
They won't be separate fuel tanks sitting.
No.
Yeah, so.
And for clarification, we haven't approved for a grant for up to
Yes.
half the cost of this, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want those in two separate motions or can they be in one?
Now, the reason that I put them that way is because one is to, approve the funding for it. The other one is to actually award, the RFP or so that we can notify the suppliers and get the stuff on.
I'll make the first motion that town council approves the amount of $732,142 in the 2025-2026 capital budget year for the new backup generator project, which will be funded by the municipal grant program, NCGP, the town of Digby, and municipality of the district of Digby.
Seconder,
I'll second that.
any other questions? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
So just for clarification on Tanner Diggy's funding or the other 50% that the grant does not cover. Some of that for the lift stations, they will be, it'll be that amount of the cost shared with the municipality as per the agreements that we have for the lift stations. And then, of course, the town hall, all. Recording.
Can we rename the spot with the one up here, the lift station, and that way, cost share?
I thought since you had to repair, we felt like a little bit.
Yeah. No, we want to get cost sharing.
Oh,
Yes.
Or maybe we could start pumping the sewage up Queen Street.
Yeah, there we go. I'll make the second recommendation that's there, that the town council award the new backup generator project request for proposal RFP to Able Electric in the amount of $552,115, including HST.
and a seconder,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, moving on to the committee of the whole time change. We're doing that this month or next month. Okay, so, time change for to move the committee of the whole meeting to 5 p.m. So change the policy that it's written 6 p.m. So we change the policy to 5 p.m. Any questions or any discussion on this? Probably start it next month. The public knows that we are changing that.
What time did you decide on?
5 o'clock.
2-5?
5 o'clock from 6 o'clock to 5. Okay. That's when we're going to try and get it in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I
But,
thought.
yeah, so we'll do an hour earlier, 5 o'clock, which is good because staff gets off at 4:30. Hang around for an hour and a half, just a half an hour. It's all right, we'll start that in February. Put a notice out to the public.
The policies that need to be changed can be changed at the February council meeting. So,
Will be in effect for next is a public hearing date, so we're doing the first reading tonight.
yeah, just on the first reading for the, rezoning of a lot on King Street. So the, and also
As a
housing coalition And, so public, we need to set a public hearing and for the proposed date is, January 27th at 6 P.M. At the time to advertise at notify certain people.
All right for that. Is that okay? Public hearing?
That's a number. Council, what we need to consider the submissions.
Okay, and that'll, I guess, Mr. Chair, just want to make sure with the CAO, that'll give them enough time to, send everything up to, any property owners they need to, and, get our stuff on the paper on it, so, or whatever requirements there.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Okay.
Didn't get a date on that fair shopper for that. Date. I can get it back from the thought too is possibly to put an ad in the fair shopper. Improves communication, but they'll find what the dates are for January for the fair shopper. Give their business, if not, move into Cameron. Thank you for coming out.
Say for data next week?
That's their thing for their big thing they're doing with Cowboy.
Oh. Okay.
Big thing?
Yeah, well, that's where they do their projects with that consultant. It's been going on for like 4 months.
Oh, their shoulder season thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I must not be on their proper email list yet, because I didn't,
They've
follow
been,
that.
they've been trying for that mod stuff for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And they've never been able to pull it up.
Well, I was a little bit worried, especially if they're wanting to bring up the theater thing with like the play, because to say you're doing something starting in May and you want to put on a play, you better get started. Yeah, better get started in the next couple of weeks.
I was thinking more like 60 hours than 60 days.
Kind of solves that problem with the flags, doesn't it? Because we were gonna get reruns done, so now we.
Flags and banners.
Banners.
You got banners coming from solid days this year. With 50. They're gonna do a dozen in 70.
I'd like to see him put something. And
60 days would take up the whole summer, basically. June, what you say?
June, summer.
June 29th, yeah.
crazy motion. Not yet. So moved. All right, seconder.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And moved. See, I got some phone party here.
That would be funny if somebody else said.
Well, it takes me a little bit more when it's